Welcome to New Life Live, the premier place to receive free advice from Christian psychologists and counselors for the mental, emotional, relational, and spiritual challenges you face. Since 1988, we've offered compassionate responses that combine God's truth with proven psychological principles to guide you toward healing. Our phone lines are open. Call us now at 1-800-229-3000.
Welcome to New Life Live. I'm your host, Brian Perez, and we are here today to help you with whatever struggles you're going through, marital, financial, maybe it's parental, whatever it is, something going on at work, job situation. Give us a call. 1-800-229-3000 is our number. And here to answer those questions, we've got clinical psychologist Dr. Alice Benton. How are you, Alice?
Well, my thumbs are tired from all the gaming I've been doing to bond with my kids. But other than that, I'm solid.
Well, that's good. And Marc Cameron is here, too. He's a licensed marriage and family therapist. How are you, Marc?
I'm doing well. Thank you.
And what's on your mind today?
Well, so last week my wife and I were walking through a state park. It was quite quiet out. There was no one else around. It was close to sunset, clear trail ahead. Now, I've always thought it was unrealistic in scary movies when somebody walks up onto danger and they just don't see it there at all. But now I get it. About 10 feet in front of us, there was this rattlesnake just crossing our path. And I was talking with my wife, and she was on her phone, and I looked up and I saw it, and I grabbed her arm, and we both froze. And then for the rest of the walk after that, every time I grabbed my wife's arm, she froze again. And that's the work of the amygdala. That's the part of our brain. It's our threat detection center, and it stores memories, especially memories that are linked to danger, and it uses them to prepare us for similar situations in the future. And it triggers us into fight, flight, or freeze responses, which happen often before we're even consciously aware of them. So in the moment we saw the snake, we went into a freeze response. We just stopped right in our tracks, and we let it just go away, go on its way. And then about 10 minutes later, I saw something else on the path. To be fair, it was a lizard, but it was one of those long lizards that actually do look like a snake. And so I grabbed her again, and she froze again, and we both froze. And then anytime I saw something, I touched her arm, and just the same things happen. But these survival responses, they show up in our relationships too, especially during conflict, and they're based on our attachment styles, which in our attachment styles are how we've learned to bond, and our bonding experience, which is shaped by our early childhood experiences. And so emotional avoiders, they tend to flee when it comes to conflict. They withdraw, they avoid emotional intensity, both in themselves and in others, and because they've learned, well, people won't meet my needs. And so for them, it's everyone's for themselves. I deal with my stuff, you deal with your stuff, and when it gets heavy, I'm out of here. People pleasers and victims, they tend to freeze. They freeze and please and appease, and they just want to keep the peace at all costs, and they still believe that they're too small to protect themselves. And then controllers and vacillator are someone who idealize relationships, and then they get deeply disappointed when things don't turn out the way that they hope. They go to a fight response. They confront, they pursue, they react intensely to hurt because they're oversensitive to criticisms and complaints. Now, these reactions are deeply rooted in what we learned as kids. But here's the thing, the danger we're responding to now is really often a false alarm. It's like a smoke detector that goes off in your house when you're burning the toast. Or it would go off with the same intensity whether your house is burning down or you're burning the toast. And so we overreact. And so in order to shift out this reactivity, we need to learn how to pause and say, what am I feeling right now? What just happened? How am I reacting? And where in my past did this come from? Now, in the book of Nehemiah, the prophet who led the Israelites to rebuild the city walls of Jerusalem, the people come to him and they complain about the nobles and the officials who are taking advantage of them. And Nehemiah says, when I heard their outcry of these charges, I was very angry. And then I consulted with myself. Or another version says, then I thought about it. And so we need to be like Jeremiah. We need to learn how to stop and pause and consult with ourselves and think about it. Where is this emotion and reaction coming from inside of me, so that we can learn to take a more adaptive response in those moments.
You're also welcome to consult with us here at New Life Live. We will be back with Andrew and Lynn and everyone else.
early on looking at pornography that went into affairs, massage parlors, strip clubs with buddies. Before you know it, you're ashamed of that.
Every day, men struggle with sexual integrity, impure thoughts, strip clubs, affairs, pornography.
My wife got a phone call, and she asked me who this person was, and man, how do I get myself out of this one?
For over 20 years, New Life Ministries has been helping men regain their integrity and purity through their one-of-a-kind Every Man's Battle Intensive.
When she said to me, I want you to look at this website named Every Man's Battle, she had me look, and I said, no, this is exactly where I need to be. This is exactly the problems I have, and I'm gonna go.
You don't have to struggle any longer. Get help in Denver, Colorado, June 6th through the 8th. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE to register or to find out more. 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com. Use the discount code NLL to save $50. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
And here's Lynn, who's listening to us on WAVA in Hagerstown, Maryland. Welcome to New Life Live, Lynn.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Well,
I appreciate all the advice you give everybody.
Yeah, now it's your turn to get some advice from us. How can we help you?
Oh, okay. So I have a brother that's 2 years older than myself. We've never really gotten along in life. He was considered the number one son from my parents. They would say that. I was the middle child. So I do have two other siblings that are girls, or sisters. About 4 years ago, my dad passed away, and since then we don't even know what's on the will because he has kind of taken that away, and he's kind of being a bully about that. And he still watches my mom, but he doesn't really watch her. There's a little bit of abuse there, I feel like, because they're not taking care of her properly. But what I'm calling is yesterday I met with my kids for Mother's Day, and my son was very angry. And I feel like my brother, I've heard this from my brother-in-law, that my brother is intentionally trying to get near my son to get back at me. And so my brother has no relationship with his children. He has two children. They grew up together. They're all in their 30s. They grew up together, but now my brother just seems to lash onto my son, and they go fishing trips. They do this, do that, and my son doesn't even really communicate with me. He's really angry with his sister, and that was my Mother's Day yesterday. It was really kind of crappy. I was like, so do I mean, he's an adult child, you know, and he does have two grandbabies. I do have grandbabies from him. And my daughter has a grandbaby, but I feel like if I say anything to him, he's going to say, well, you're not going to see the grandbabies anymore. Or, you know, he always says that, there's no secret that you and your brother don't get along. Well, because my brother's not a nice guy, he's toxic. And so I just chose not to be around him.
Lynn, why would your son threaten something so extreme if you said something to him that, then I'll take the grandkids away? That's quite extreme.
I don't know if he would. Okay. Yes, I don't know if he would say that, but he's so mesmerized by my brother because my brother takes him on trips. My brother gives him things. My brother showers him with things, and then he even invited my brother to his child's birthday party, and I didn't even know he was coming until I was there. I'm the grandma, and my brother showed up. We didn't even speak. We don't even speak. We're in the same room.
Mm-hmm. And what's your relationship like with your daughter-in-law, your son's wife?
I absolutely love her. Okay. She's like a daughter, a bonus daughter. I love her to death. She video chats me with the grandbabies. I mean, she's a blessing. She's such a blessing to me.
Yeah, so it's unlikely that your grandkids would be taken away from you then, because you've got such a strong relationship with your daughter. What is it that you're wanting to say to your son?
I want to say, like, why are you so angry, and why do you have to take it out on me and your sister? Is there something that is wrong? And I feel like the characteristics that you are portraying remind me of my brother. Mm-hmm. And you've been around him so much, you think he walks on water, but his own children don't have a relationship with him.
Lynn, you're asking the right question. Why are you so angry? I want you to notice the tone of voice in asking it, at least the way you played it out with us. You ask in a combative tone. that is already
Okay.
telling him he's wrong to be angry.
Yep.
And then you link him with your brother, whom he well knows you call a toxic person. And I believe you. I believe you that he is.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah.
way you're asking the question will put your son's defenses up, and he'll go on attack mode, counterattacking you and what you're accusing him of. So you've got the right question, but we've got to help you ask it in the right way with the right heart posture. And I want to hear from you. What do you feel with me challenging you like this?
I feel like, yes, I don't know how to communicate with him. I feel like it's my son, but I feel like I shut down because if I say the wrong thing, he's a very black or white person. There's no gray area. And if he has an opinion, he's going to tell you whether he likes it or not. I did tell him yesterday when he was speaking to my daughter in a not so nice way. I said, you need to be kind. You just need to be kind. You don't need to present yourself like that. It would be much nicer to be kind. And then he came back with another comment. And so it's like, I don't know I don't know what to say and how to say it.
Okay, we can help you with that. One of the best ways to start is for you to guess, why might your son be angry with you? And does he have any legitimate complaint against you? Now, you've already been able to humbly say, I don't really know how to talk to him. And so maybe you heard Marc describing these different attachment styles. Maybe similarly to me, Lynn, you're an avoider. Maybe you're a people pleaser. And so we don't enter into conflict well. And we can delay conversations we really should have had a long time ago because we're fearful.
Yeah.
And we're right to be afraid because we've got these really angry people with big personalities around us, and we don't feel equipped to come up against them. And so knowing and being able to acknowledge it might have been tough to be my son because I didn't know how to enter conflict. I maybe didn't know how to protect you from some conflict. I was a really imperfect mom. And so
we also got divorced when he was 16 from his dad.
All right.
Yeah.
And you know that probably hurt him and disrupted life for him?
Yeah.
Okay. The way you just went to sadness, Lynn, makes you so approachable. And it has a much better chance of drawing your son in because you went vulnerable. So to be able to say, son, I know life has been chaotic in our family. You lost close access to your dad when we got divorced. I didn't know how to handle that. So I've really dropped the ball in some ways as a mom, and I truly want to hear from you. Tell me why you're angry with me, and I'm going to be a listener because I want to figure this out. I want a better relationship. I want to be closer to you. Now, it's easy for me, of course, to say this right now because I'm not in the face of an angry son. But Lynn, when I've had to have these conversations with angry people in my life, girl, I had to do so much prep work ahead of time because I'm too avoidant. I've been known to hide behind furniture as an adult, to not confront an angry person.
Literally,
Brian. And so, Lynn, if you haven't done this yet, getting counseling to strengthen you and to figure out where does all my fear come from, because it precedes your son. I mean, you grew up with such an angry brother who had such dominance in your family. Preparing for this kind of conversation and practicing ahead of time with one of our counselors whom we trust will set you up better to be the right kind of listener to draw out the information you really want from your son.
Yeah. Alice has given you some really good advice here. Here's also what I want you to start to think about here, Lynn. It's something called displacement, when we take our feelings out on someone else who really we feel towards someone else. And you said it when you said you want to say to, I think you said something along the lines that you want to say to your son, why are you so angry? And then you said that, I kind of would like to say that to my brother too. So I want you to recognize something, that your brother is having the relationship, or your son is having the relationship with your brother that you never had, and you probably wish you had. And now your brother is having the relationship with your son that you want to have. And so there's some of these dynamics that are at play here, and they're fueling your feelings towards your brother, and they're fueling the feelings towards your son. So I want you to be aware of that. And so if you can learn how to sort through those things, then you're more equipped to have this conversation that Alice is saying. Because your son probably is an angry person, and you probably do need to set boundaries and stand up at times. But I also, if you want to have that close relationship with him, you also do need to be able to go to a vulnerable place and then be able to offer that, I want to be closer to you. What can we do to be closer together? And at the same time, what's challenging for me to be close with you is when you speak so harshly to me. So what can we do to get to a place where we both have a relationship that is mutually satisfiable for us both? Mm-hmm. And if you can learn to enter into a conversation like that, it's more likely to be productive. Just know this, that he may not be used to having that conversation with you, and so he may push back at first. So sometimes, the first conversation really is about setting up the second conversation where you can go deeper.
What do you think, Lynn?
Do I say anything to his wife, or do I just strictly make this just about him and I?
Well,
do I go to his wife and say what's going on before I discuss that with him?
No, I wouldn't do that. If I were you. You have a separate relationship with his wife as you do with your son. So I would invite him into that conversation. It sounds like you have times where you do get to connect and come together, but maybe you also need to just invite him out for coffee or something like that, where you can have a one-on-one and say, hey, I want to discuss our relationship together. And again, lead with common ground, because I want to be closer to you.
Mm-hmm. And delay the warnings about your brother until you've been able to find out, son, why are you so angry at me? Okay. They need to be separate conversations.
Yeah, and I'm just assuming that it's together because they're both, it just seems like he's exactly like my brother. So I'm just assuming I'm categorizing them as a togetherness, but it could be two totally different things.
You are, and it's normal that you do that because that's how the brain works. The brain works by association. But if you can learn to separate those two things out, then you can have a separate conversation with him about your relationship. And then, like Alice is saying, don't do it in the same conversation. Later on, as you build your relationship with your son, then you can talk about, what you feel toward your brother and concerns you have.
And we'll send you Doing Life with Your Adult Children by Jim Burns.
That's a good book. It's available in the newlife.com store. We're going to send you a copy, Lynn. We also have a tip sheet that we can send to you and to anyone listening. It's called 10 Tips for Healing Broken Families. So we'll send that out to you as well. Thank you for calling in today to New Life Live. 1-800-229-3000 is the number. And now we're going to talk to Andrew in Reno, Nevada. Hi there, Andrew. It says here you're a first-time listener. Thank you so much for calling in today. How'd you find out about us?
Thanks for having me. My wife's Nana sent the show to me over Facebook.
Great.
Thank you, Nana.
Yes.
How can we help you, Andrew? It's brave of you to call.
I'm just lost at the moment. I've suffered with porn addiction my entire life. When things got hard or I didn't fit in as a kid, and I had divorced parents and stuff, so that was my vice. And before we got married, she had caught me, and she had said, the next time that I catch you doing this, I'm going to leave. Well, I got counseling after that, and I felt like I had dealt with it. And then we got married, and I felt all of the burdens, and I felt like all the pain fall off. And I felt pure. But lately, I've been feeling not happy in our life, and I resolved back to porn, and now she's ran away to a different state, and she's not communicating with me.
Oh. Wow. Andrew, do you have children together?
No, we're 22 and 19.
So you're newlywed still?
Yeah.
How painful and shocking, even though that was the threat she made. But for her to go so far, did she go back to family, or why did she go to another state? Do you know?
So what had happened was my mom was going to have surgery, so I was going to be down with her for a little bit, and she took that opportunity to leave because it had happened a couple days before. And I knew she knew, and I kept asking if she was okay, and she wouldn't talk to me, and she was sleeping on the couch. And then once I left, she packed her stuff and she left.
So how long have you been married, Andrew?
Since September of last year.
Okay, so less than a year. And are you in contact with her family? Are they reaching out to you?
Yeah, I'm actually at my in-laws' house right now.
Oh.
Okay, so they're wanting you guys to restore, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And are they in contact with her?
Pretty much no. She's cut everybody besides her best friend that she's up there with and her online friends.
Okay.
Okay, Andrew, we've got to take a break, but we'll be back to continue this important conversation. We thank you for calling in today. And like Alice said, thank you, Nana, for telling you about our program so that you can call and get the help that you need, because it's what we do here at New Life Live. We have a program called Every Man's Battle that we want to talk to you about, and we will continue our conversation with you and everyone else calling in today to New Life Live.
We've been married 33 years. We attended the Intimacy and Marriage Workshop. Even though we've read books or attended a few other marriage weekends, this was certainly different and a lot more intensive than initially that we thought.
When you come to Intimacy and Marriage, you're going to be immersed into a 3-day process.
Was not really sure exactly what to expect, but the idea of learning to really understand intimacy was intriguing. We had been in the same patterns of struggle over and over again.
If you've thought, I don't think we can ever change, we're just in this rut and we can't get out, the Intimacy and Marriage Workshop can help you get out of the rut.
The Intimacy and Marriage Weekend is July 25th to the 27th in Washington, D.C. Register online at newlife.com or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE and use the discount code NLL to save $50. 1-800-639-5433.
I would highly recommend it.
I was sort of vaguely familiar that the 12 steps had some origination in the Bible. I found Life Recovery, and one of the things I liked so much was that it had such a broad appeal. It wasn't limited to just alcohol or drugs, that it was addressing a wide range of problems.
At New Life, we believe everyone can benefit from a life recovery experience. There are life recovery groups all over the country. They take place online, in conference calls, and in person. And if there isn't one in your area, we can help you start one. We have startup materials, leaders' guides, CDs, Bibles, and more, all with discounts available for groups. Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE and ask for Terry Ward. The 12 Steps have long been a great help to people in recovery because much of the 12 Steps' power comes from the fact that they capture principles clearly revealed in the Bible.
The 12 steps is really a pattern for all of us as Christians.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
And back to Andrew, who called in from Reno, Nevada. Are you still with us, Andrew?
Yes.
Hey, thanks again for calling in today. What's our next question for Andrew?
Yeah, so Andrew, while this is so deeply, deeply hurtful and confusing for you, she's having a betrayal response here. And so, you know, when you have a betrayal response, you want to run away from the thing that is hurting you, from danger. And so, she's also incredibly young. I think you said that she's 19 years old. Is that correct? She's 19, you're 22? Yeah, so she's still a teenager. You're both still very, very young. And so she may not know really how to handle something like this in a productive way to be able to talk through this and deal with it as a couple. And you're so newly married, too. I think it's a good thing that you are in contact with her in-laws and they're wanting you guys to learn how to restore. I think the best thing you can do for yourself right now, as painful as it is, and as much as you want to get in contact with her because there's all of this unknown of what is happening and where is she and, you know, can we even save this, is to start to get into your own recovery process, because that's how you become safe when somebody feels betrayed. It's learning to recognize, you know, why you use porn. It sounds like you use porn as a mood lifter. It's a way to give a dopamine release and help you feel better. And people generally use pornography because they have uncomfortable emotions that they don't know how to deal with. And so I think as you get into a recovery program and you find out the why, it's not just about sobriety, it's finding out what's drawing you to pornography and working on the root cause of that. I think that's the best thing that you can do in this moment, is to work on yourself as you become safe. Hopefully, as she grows and matures and gets back into contact with her family, then you can start to work on mending the relationship.
Andrew,
Right.
you already were in counseling, and so we praise that. You've had the humility to know, I need help with this. You may just not have gotten enough help or for a long enough period of time, because when you're struggling with a lifelong addiction, most of us need both individual counseling, but we also need a group to be in. And men especially need other men who are in the same battle and want sexual purity so that you all can lift each other up. The Bible says we need a triple braided cord. When one falls down, we need the other one there to lift him up, because we're all going to face the difficulties in early marriage and then having kids, and it becomes so overwhelming that we default back to our old way of coping. And knowing, Andrew, that you have used porn your whole life, I want to try to help lift some of the shame. You were an innocent victim who was exposed to pornography at what sounds like a very young age. And probably your parents didn't realize, didn't know how to handle it or address you and know how to help you through it. Most parents, we don't even know how to teach our kids to handle their emotions. And so everybody goes to cope with something. We find a way to medicate so that the pain can become more tolerable. And this was one of the ways you figured out how to medicate. Is my description somewhat accurate as to your childhood?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. How young were you when you were first exposed to pornography?
I think I was like 10 or 11.
Ah, so young.
Wow. And did you have anyone who you could go to and talk with about that?
I felt ashamed of it, so I didn't talk to anyone about it.
Yeah, and that's very, very common. And that's why, because porn usually happens in privacy, in the dark, and that's how shame thrives. That's why the recovery process needs to be in the light, in a group with others, and that's how you get set free from the shame.
And Andrew, you're right to have something we call godly sorrow, which means I broke my wife's trust, and I'm not a safe man to her right now, at least in this area. And so to feel bad about it it's not an unhealthy thing. Godly sorrow is good. But worldly sorrow is shame and unhealthy guilt that we just beat ourselves up with. Maybe we give up. I'm not even worth it. I'm not worth living. I'm just the scum of the earth because I did this. And those are lies that the enemy wants us to believe to keep us stuck and to keep us from repentance. So you called the right place, Andrew, because this particular struggle with pornography, it's what New Life Ministries specializes in. We help hundreds, if not thousands of men every single year to come out and stay out. I get to work with a number of men who've been through one of our programs called Every Man's Battle, which is an intensive workshop we have, and we want to make sure we get you to it, Andrew. Some of the men I work with, they're able to say, I have 10 years of sobriety, 15, 20 years of sobriety. I don't even feel tempted anymore. Or when I'm tempted, I know exactly what to do to defeat that temptation, and my wife now trusts me. And so, Andrew, we can get you set on that path. We also have an intensive workshop for the women who have been betrayed because your wife doesn't know how to handle the emotions that she's feeling. Our weekend for women is called Restore, Healing After Betrayal. And both these weekends are coming up. And so we want to get you connected with one of our counselors, with our men's groups we have, with this intensive. We have all the right strategies and solutions that will help you get out, stay out, and give you the best chance at restoring your marriage.
So we're also going to send you a book, Andrew. It's called Every Man's Battle. And if you'll stay on hold, we will send that to you free of charge from us here at New Life. Now, we do want to put you in, get you connected with the Every Man's Battle Intensive. It's happening June 6th in Denver, Colorado. If you register by next week, May 23rd, you'll get a discount. And then the Restore Healing After Betrayal Intensive for your wife, that's happening in November in Washington, D.C. And there's also the Intimacy and Marriage Intensive that the two of you can attend together. That's happening in July in Washington, D.C. as well. You can get all the details about any of these on our website, newlife.com. Jacqueline and Penny, you guys are coming up. Thank you so much for holding. We will be with you here on New Life Live. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching today. Don't forget to download the New Life app. We'll be right back.
For most of my life, I've been dealing with an opiate addiction.
Why is opioid addiction quickly becoming one of our nation's biggest killers? Maybe it's because it isn't only those who are addicted who are in denial.
We did what I see so many parents do, is it can't be an addiction. There's something medically wrong.
It's impossible to solve a problem when you don't know what you're up against, and families will try to find any explanation except the one that will put them on the right path.
Alcoholism and drug addiction is a family disease. It doesn't affect just the individual.
If someone you love is abusing painkillers, know what you're up against. It's time to admit its addiction and seek treatment. Call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We have partner treatment centers around the country. Call 1-800-639-5433 or visit us online at newlife.com.
We just made a decision. We will do whatever it takes.
1-800-NEW-LIFE. Club New Life changes lives.
I think I go way back to listening to New Life, learning so much from it, and then becoming a Club New Life member.
Club New Life is a monthly giving family that helps New Life Ministries provide Christ-centered hope and counseling resources to thousands of people.
You know, I'm so thankful because, you know why I keep giving? Because I keep learning, and I'm so thankful for all the lives that you touch every day and the people's lives. So when I get to still hear the radio show, it's just so encouraging to my heart.
When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, you'll make a difference in the lives of individuals and families with godly counsel and connection to help.
And you know one reason I give? Because I feel like sometimes I'm hiding behind a counselor's couch, listening to all this great information and not paying, so my guilt of this great advice is alleviated by being a Club New Life member.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. And together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. We're glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
So you've heard the calls that we've had this week here on New Life Live. Just right now we were talking to Andrew, and we're going to get some more calls coming up in just a little bit. And man, these are people that are hurting with so many different things, and they trust us here at New Life to continue to help them. And we want you to trust us as well. And would you make a financial donation to what we do here at New Life? Right now, we're in the middle of a matching gift up to $500,000. You can give online at newlife.com or by calling 1-800-NEW-LIFE or text the word match to 28950. We're trying to reach that goal by the end of this month, and you can help us. Again, 1-800-NEW-LIFE, newlife.com, or text the word match to 28950. Really quick, let me just share what one of our supporters shared recently. I have no idea where my marriage or my state of mind would be without the past and present help of New Life. We love helping people, and we want to continue doing so for years to come. So if you could help us, 1-800-NEW-LIFE, newlife.com, or text the word match to 28950.
Just one more word to Andrew and to the men out there who have betrayed and don't know what to do to repair a relationship. Our instinct is to say, I'm so sorry, and I need you to trust me again. Trust me, and let's get back together. But it pushes reconciliation too quickly. It's frightening, maybe even terrifying to say, actually, you shouldn't trust me yet. Don't trust me until you see change in my behavior. Watch the things I'm going to do to become a safer man, entering into all the suggestions that we made. We have a great book, in addition to the Every Man's Battle we're going to send to Andrew, which is Worthy of Her Trust. And Worthy of Her Trust gives a map. It gives all these strategies to show a person's becoming trustworthy rather than trying to convince your spouse who was the victim that she should trust you. Give her time, give her space. Show in your behavior that you're going to to be different.
And what's so interesting about that, even though, like you're saying, it's counterintuitive to tell someone not to trust you, but that's actually the way to build trust is change behavior over time, and showing somebody that you're taking accountability for it. That actually gets them to trust you more.
It does.
Jacqueline, thank you for holding. Thank you for calling in today from Delaware County, Pennsylvania, listening on WFIL. Hi. How are you, Jacqueline?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Doing wonderful. What's going on? How can we help you?
Well, first I have to give you guys kudos, because a couple months ago I got a follow-up call from a New Life asking about how I was doing since I spoke to you, I think maybe 2 years ago. So that was nice. That was very nice and refreshing. I really do appreciate that. I'm calling because I am the only Christian in my family. And I feel like I always have to be on the defensive. I'm the youngest out of 10. My sister, we had the same birthday, 1 year apart. She's passed away. We were very, very close. My dad was very abusive. He died about actually 2 months after my sister died, and it'll be like 18 years, November and September of this year. And because of his abuse, I think he really obviously messed up traumatically with my family, and unfortunately there was sexual abuse in the family. And so now their trust, we used to go to church all the time. I didn't know, I would, as a kid, I just went to church, but I didn't have a relationship with Christ. And now as an older adult, I find nothing but joy in my relationship with Christ. And so I know I can't save my family. I understand that. Actually, I was in a marriage where I thought I could save someone, and that didn't work. But I love my family. But they're very defensive. As a matter of fact, just for Mother's Day yesterday, they didn't celebrate it with me. They didn't even tell me they were taking my mom out. All of my sisters just went and took my mom. And it was okay, because it's not the first year they've done this. But they don't think that what they're doing is wrong. And yet, then that was on a Saturday they celebrated, because Sunday they weren't going to be up here all together because they're from different states to visit. So then this is a weird thing. So they do all this, and then they go to church on Sunday like everything's fine, and they come back and they're very how do I say it? Just very, I don't want to say dark, but they're just not joyful people to be around, and they have no relationship with extended family. And my mom means well, but I think because she's been abused so long, she just kind of is just surviving. And so my question to you is, how do you explain to them, without them being defensive because I am a Christian, that if you keep on doing the same bad behavior, you're not going to get a different outcome. You're just going to widen the gap to your relationship with people in the family who want to get close to you.
You see that they're on a path to destruction, and you really want to save them from it because you've found the solution, and it sure doesn't seem like they have the same solution that you do. Jacqueline, how painful to be the one excluded out of the other 9 siblings, or many of whom are getting together with your mom for Mother's Day. That is such a rejection. If I asked your siblings why they don't include you, what do you think they would tell me?
So I think it's because they were all sexually abused and I was not. They were all sexually abused either by family members or my father, and I was not. And so I think they're mad because I wasn't. And so I'm very independent, and I'm assertive, and I know who I am and what I'm worth in my Father Jesus Christ. And I think because they've been broken, and they still want to play the victim and not be victorious, they want to live in that darkness, and they don't think they have a reason to come into the light.
Jacqueline, Jacqueline, I'm going to point something out to you. This might be a little hard to hear, but I'm going to give you another possible reason why they exclude you. In the beauty of the truth you have as a Christian, having found salvation, and all that's true, I completely agree with you. You unintentionally come across as a little judgmental. It really surprised me when you said they all go to church, but you also told me you're the only Christian in your family. So you make some assumptions about people, and you might be right, but it could come across, unfortunately, like you're kind of preaching to the sinners and you're the saved and you're in a different category. And there is some truth to that, but it makes it hard to receive evangelism from you. Can you hear that from me? Do you see any little bit of truth in that?
No, you're exactly right. And you know what? I'm a work in progress because my pastor and my mentors tell me that. And so they tell me you have to step back and kind of, look where they're coming from and don't come across like you're judgmental. No, that I am a work in progress. I understand that wholeheartedly.
I'm proud of you that you can receive that. And as you've heard it from a couple sources, you see truth in it. I'm going to push in just one step further. When you say they're mad because I wasn't abused.
Yeah.
That's you might be right, but that's another assumption. And it makes it an accusation that they're, I don't know, I might need Marc's help with this. There's something in that assumption you have. They're mad because I wasn't abused. I think it takes you and your style out of the equation entirely. It makes you completely innocent, and that it shortcuts what you want. I think you want relationship with your siblings, even though they're toxic people, they're really hard to be around. But because you see it only as, or you just presented it as, well, it's only because I wasn't abused. I think there's a whole lot more to it. I think they don't feel like you understand their pain. And because you might approach them in more of a lecturing format, I don't know if you've taken the time to try to understand their pain.
Okay, so we did have an intervention. We did have an intervention like 3 or 4 times. And actually that was brought to me. I didn't say that to them. They said to me, you think you're better because you think you're better because you weren't.
Okay.
And I thought, this is so sick on so many levels.
You heard it from them. Okay.
But think about what they said. You think you're better because you weren't abused. They didn't say they're mad at you because you weren't abused. So I'm agreeing with Alice. Actually, I think Alice put it beautifully there, what she said. And you know who else did this in the Bible? Joseph. Joseph received these dreams from God, and they were from God, and they were the truth. And then he went to his brothers, and he just said all this to them, and they got really mad at him. And Joseph didn't get it until he went through the troubles. He went through what it felt like to be rejected, because his brothers had a feeling of rejection from their father, who didn't really love them and care about them. They had that father wound too. And until he was rejected, until he had no one, until he went through the pain, that's when he finally got it. And then he could connect with his siblings. So I think the challenge here is for you to do the same, for you to maybe make yourself vulnerable and sit and become a listener rather than a speaker, rather than a lecturer, somebody who sits and listens to their pain. And once they feel like that you can connect and understand their pain, then they'll be more willing to listen to your ideas. But I think that your approach and your ideas may also change as you gain empathy and understanding for them.
The way to help defensive people be less defensive is for us to become less defensive. And we do that by leading with, I'm such a sinner, you guys. I'm so messed up. I'm preaching. People keep telling me stop preaching, and I can't even stop. So I know I'm being off-putting. I'm being kind of self-righteous. I don't even know how to stop because I've been trying to stop, but I still keep doing it. And gosh, that must have been hurtful to you guys. What has it been like to be sister to me, brothers and sister to me? I bet that's been hard. Tell me about it.
We'll be right back here on New Life Live. Penny, you're next.
Do you need help for life's hard situations?
My husband recently said he wanted a divorce.
I'm confused on what I should do.
I have an eating disorder.
New Life Live answers your questions on relationships, grief, addiction, trauma, anxiety, and much more, all from a biblical perspective with our panel of professional counselors and psychologists.
I learned a lot from your program. You help so many people.
I appreciate your ministry.
Whether you listen or watch, there are so many ways to connect with us to ask our panel of counselors a question. Call us Monday through Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific at 1-800-229-3000 to ask your question on New Life Live. Or go to newlife.com/radio for other ways to get your question answered.
I'm trying to find help.
I just want to know how to set boundaries.
If it's a sin, what am I supposed to do?
Need a therapist or a coach, a resource, or an intensive? Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. For over 35 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
Your ministry has saved my life.
If you struggle with emotional hurt, family or marriage problems, the pit of depression, or the pain of addiction, we can help.
I'm down 100 pounds now from what I was.
I found a counselor through New Life Ministries, and it's just been outstanding.
Our treatment programs provide clinically appropriate solutions from licensed professionals, all in a biblical framework.
I have had problems with alcohol. I think God has ordained this place to be His.
You don't have to be a prisoner of your pain. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
She tells me that I'm a new man, and I feel like a new man.
It worked for me, and it can work for them too.
This time it is different.
If you're ready to take the first steps toward genuine spiritual and emotional healing, call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. God can open the door for a better tomorrow.
To get someone that's competent, that's good at what they do, it's been like day and night compared to what I've had before.
Call 1-800-639-5433. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Jacqueline, we appreciate hearing from you today on New Life Live. And just for calling in today, we're going to send you a copy of How People Grow from the newlife.com store. Penny, you're coming up in just a moment. First, I want to remind everybody about the Intimacy and Marriage Weekend. It's where couples experience serious breakthroughs and growth after learning information as a group on topics like attachment styles, challenges to sexual intimacy, effects of family of origin and trauma on your intimacy, and more. You'll apply the information in therapist-led process groups. Now, many attendees say the group time is their favorite part of the weekend, and they can see that they are not alone. Isn't your marriage worth investing just one weekend to strengthen it for the rest of your life? Plan to join us July 25th in Washington, D.C. All the details are at newlife.com.
And our intensive is for the whole spectrum of the state of marriage, meaning we have couples that come with divorce paperwork in the car and they experience restoration at our intensive. We also have couples come who are doing really well and just want a tune-up or just want an extra investment in their relationship. Every time I've gotten to go to the weekend, and I've been many times because I got to lead groups there, I learned something new every single time, and every time my marriage improved because I went.
That's such a powerful visual. A couple shows up and they've got the divorce papers. They're like, you know what? I'm giving it one more chance.
We've actually had that happen.
Wow.
Yeah, literally.
Wow. All right, get all the details at newlife.com or by calling 1-800-NEW-LIFE. And now here's Penny calling in from Los Angeles, listening on KKLA. Hi there, Penny. Welcome to the program.
Hi, how are you?
Doing well. We appreciate your phone call.
Penny, we're so grateful that you held on. Girl, we know you've been waiting for a little while here, and thank you. We're glad to get to talk to you.
Okay, I called because, I wanted to be an encouragement. I'm totally blind, and anyway, I lost my mother recently. My birthday's the 3rd of March, and I lost her the Monday on the 10th. So, anyway, yeah, it was hard. It hit me hard, and my body was, stressed. I caught a cold, and I hadn't had a cold since I don't know when, but it just, anyway. But the way I been dealing with it was, I don't know, it may sound crazy, but like I was told to, Mother's Day was yesterday, and I made a call to somebody I used to live with, and, I had told her about it. She said, wish your mother a happy Mother's Day, even though she's gone. So I did. But not, I've been doing, just saying, Mother, I miss you. I miss you. Love you. So, but anyway, I'm a born-again Christian. Gee, what happened was, I won't go into details, but anyway, I'm in a home with another lady. But my mother and sister moved to Texas.
Okay.
And my mother was 97. So anyway, they moved to Texas. And the move was too much for her. So, she had been, sick. So anyway, I just wanted to be an encouragement for those who, lost their mothers. And so, I'm, I don't know what else to say.
Penny, our word, our Bible, says that the best life is one that's lived in service to others. And for you to be up against so much, you're blind. You just lost your mom days after your birthday. You're living in a home with another woman, maybe as a caregiver, I imagine. You have suffering in your life, and yet you have a heart to give to other people. Penny, you're a rock star. You have such a generosity of heart that you would call in to encourage other people who have lost their moms. Thank you so much for being that kind of person.
Star?
Say that again,
You could
Penny?
say rock. Hello? You could say rock, but I'm a classical music lover.
Oh, classical music. Not a rock star. She's a classical music star. I got it. I got
Then
you.
you're the
I got you
Beethoven
here.
of today, Penny.
Or Rachmaninoff. Wait, is that
I don't know.
That's okay.
Penny, you got a good sense of humor, too. I like that.
Hey, Penny, I think it's also important to recognize that you're still in the stages of grief. I mean, this just happened a couple of months ago here. And some of the stages of grief is just making sense of the deceased person's life and reflecting upon that and making sense of your experience with that person. And so I want you to recognize that you're still in the stages of grief here, and you may have, difficult days, and it's okay to feel sad too. If you have more challenging and sad days here, and it will likely take some time, and maybe even your next birthday, you may have some feelings around this, even though it will be a year later, just because those two events are now tied together for you.
Yeah.
But I'm so glad you called in.
Penny, I'm not surprised to hear that you got a cold soon after your mom's passing when you don't normally get sick, because overwhelming emotion, especially if it's repressed, which I don't think you did, but if it's repressed, it can weaken the immune system. So when we hold on to bitterness, resentment, when we don't let ourselves grieve, it weakens us, it poisons us. And I'm so glad you have this friend to be able to talk to, or to speak out to your mom, to say, I miss you, I love you, Mom, because you're expressing your emotions, and letting our emotions flow with safe people strengthens our immune system. And so you're doing a lot of right things. And if you need more support, Penny, we could gladly connect you with a New Life recovery group or with a counselor. So you just make sure you have enough of an outlet to be able to talk.
How does that look for a Christian who, because there might be people listening right now thinking, wait a minute, we're not condoning that people talk to the dead. But when you have someone in your life who recently passed away, and you just kind of want to, you're thinking of them, you've got these thoughts and everything. And how is it, what is it that we're doing? We're not communicating with them with a dead person.
Well, there's a technique, I think it's Gestalt, that does the empty chair technique, where we talk with somebody who's not actually there, but we're actually saying the things that we would want to say to that person, and in doing so, we are processing our own emotions.
And I think that the concern that the Bible has about consulting the dead is trying to get information from the dead, like fortune telling. Tell me something I can't find out on my own. Whereas speaking out loud to a loved one, to be able to express that love that you have for them, that's not consulting the dead. So I think it's biblically safe to do.
All right. Penny, thank you for calling in today. Thank you for listening there in Los Angeles on KKLA 99.5 FM. God bless you. And we ended our week on a good note. So thank you for calling in today.
And we do have audiobooks available for any of our listeners who are vision impaired. And so you can find those on our New Life website. Many of our books have an Audible companion to them.
Nice. Okay. You can find that at newlife.com. Hey, thank you all for listening today. Thank you for calling and watching us online, telling your friends about us. We had a call earlier today about, someone who knew that their grandson, I think it was struggling, and they said, hey, you got to call these people. They can help you. And we did. We did our best, and we appreciate you trusting us to help you and your loved ones. We've been doing it for like 37 years now, and we want to do it for a lot longer. And right now, we are in the middle of a matching gift. So you've heard all the people that we've helped this week, and we want to continue doing this. And we can use your help to continue that. And you can do it a few ways. You can go to our website, newlife.com, or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE or text the word match to 28950. The matching gift is $500,000. We would love to reach that goal by the end of this month, and you can help us do that. Again, go to newlife.com, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE, or text the word match to 28950. So again, thank you for another great week of ministry here at New Life. We've got so many resources available at newlife.com. You can follow us on social media. You can like us on YouTube and Facebook and tell your friends about us, and definitely find out more about the intensives that are coming up in just a few weeks at newlife.com. God bless.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com. Please join us again on Monday for New Life Live.